Alright, we're recording. So today we decided to do something a little bit different where we're gonna go back and forth with spiritual meanings and then just give our
thoughts, comments, perceptives, all of that stuff.
Our outtake on it. And
All right.
he's gonna go first.
So I'm gonna start. Here we go. I got it's from Boo's Poetry on Instagram. Shout out everybody. They do diligence. It says, "I vote to let go of all worries in order to be light and free." And this is a Thich Nhat Hanh quote. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't know how to pronounce the name.
That's the Dalai Lama.
It might be tick, not thick. I don't know because I know they don't always do the th with the sound.
That is
I think it's tick. It's not Sanskrit, right? But it might be,
that's Indian.
Is that
Tibetan.
Tibetan,
What
Indian.
What language do Tibetans speak?
That's something we gotta help us out. Educate us while we try to educate you.
Again?
But it says, "I vow to let go of all worries in order to be light and free."
I get it. I agree with that.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
because the less things you burden your physical form with, the lighter you are. Like physically, like you don't. That's a now.
Well, I look at it like this.
Okay, go ahead.
I look at it like this. I think you have so much energy per day. Like, say, like,
okay, yeah.
different things you deal with take so much energy. So
okay, we're video game people, so there's gonna be a lot of video game references and
like,
energy bars and stuff. So just so y'all know,
you want to get to the end of the day.
Way to fucking,
certain people are more draining than other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So like when you let go, like that's I don't know. That's where I go with it. Like sometimes you gotta let go of people because people are draining.
It can be a worry. A
and
certain
then
person in your life can
or sometimes it might just be something that you just have no control over. And the outcome really doesn't hurt your life.
And worrying about it is what's
it's taking away
part.
your energy.
It's like, what
so you have to let it go.
When you worry about something, you go through it twice. Because you're worried about it before it happens, and then you actually have to live through it. So you just went through that same experience twice for no reason. Exactly.
Facts.
Exactly. All right.
What's your take on that?
Oh well, but the one thing. Oh shit. Hold on. Let's see if I can remember what I was gonna say. But so if I get a little we were talking. What did he say? About how people can be a worry and. I don't remember, man. There was something there that I was really feeling, and hopefully, if I remember, we'll go back to it. But no, but I do agree with this. And there's just, I mean, I'll just keep it basic, I guess, since I can't think of what I was thinking. But worrying about anything, it's just a waste of energy. It's just 100% waste of energy. Worries a waste of energy. Like I get. And there's a difference, and I'm sure because I'm a very analytical person, my brain is very analytical. My brain is a very sharp knife that will cut things and to dissect them. And like Sadhguru talked about that, about how your brain it'll slice things apart and break it down into the tiniest bits so you can analyze it and stuff. But that's not always the best tool for the job. You know what I mean? Cutting things up like that. But yeah, anything you worry about. Worrying itself is just, it's weighing you down. Oh, that's what it was. So it becomes a physical thing that actually weighs down your physical being.
Energy is physical.
Yeah, well, and that might be a little too deep for what we're doing right now.
I don't think so. Like
well,
even perception, like people like we have 5 senses. We have one sense perceived in 5 different ways.
And
but
more than that too. Oh my God, you just see, look.
Go back to what you're saying.
The rabbit hole goes so deep, man. There's so many facets to these diamonds, man. But yeah, no, but just worrying itself and worrying about someone or worrying about, you could worry about a thought about something else, like a perception about.
Doesn't fix it.
Like yeah, it's just, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help. There's no positive. There is zero positive in worrying about anything.
I agree.
There's zero positive.
I agree.
And when you can, and I know that. When you're first starting a journey where you're trying to like learn this stuff and you're trying to understand these things and stuff, and like it can be so overwhelming, and it's like, how can I not worry about stuff I care about and stuff like that? And
that's where we get into attachments.
Yeah, all that stuff. But just to keep it light, like just try not to worry about certain things. If you just just putting forth the effort, just being conscious about trying not to worry about stuff is a start. It's a big start. Trust me, it might be a little rough and slow at first.
You have to reprogram yourself not to do it.
But
because some people are programmed.
No, everyone is programmed to a certain
Some
degree
more
or another.
than others.
Yes, but to some degree or another, everyone is programmed because of the society and life that we
have family members that are just die-hard wired.
Because they don't know anything else,
fear.
And you're never gonna reprogram them in this lifetime because they're already so.
Right.
It's like the Matrix thing where they say we don't free your mind past a certain point because you can't change that perspective. It's like you gotta wait for your next lifetime for that one.
I got a couple good ones.
Who's next?
Where do I go with this? I got a couple of really good ones.
I got lots of good ones. I'm sure you do too.
You give them a taste of their own medicine, then they tell everyone you poisoned them.
Ah, that's a great one, and that's one that I feel like a lot of people have touched on in their own in many different ways and stuff. But yeah, absolutely. It's like we were talking about earlier when somebody if somebody pushes you to the point where you have to take action because they just won't stop, and then all of a sudden they're the victim.
I don't think that's it. I think
what we were talking about earlier with the whole. Where it's like, oh, well, if you did that, then that person's going to be like, oh, I'm the victim, look, he's the bad guy.
We're talking about whooping somebody's ass.
But he beat my ass because of all the stuff I did. But
that's
now,
not the same thing.
But no, it's conceptually the same thing to a certain extent because...
No, I'm talking about, I think what I get from this is doing exactly to somebody what they did to you.
Which they think is okay.
When they're doing it, but then they want to play the victim.
And they'll justify it in every way, every which way from Sunday. They'll
Human
justify
beings do that.
what
Like we always
to
speak
you
upon
because
behalf of our own
But they're always
pathology.
like, well, I did this because he did that, and this, that, and the third happened, and blah blah blah.
Try to justify it, but
yeah, but then if I do the exact same thing to you, all of a sudden I'm a bad guy.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other. That's a whole.
You know what that tells me about people is that some people don't have the balance, and I think it's accountability. Number one,
yeah, I know.
That's fucking accountability.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That what gives you the right? Like, if you have the nerve to feel bad about somebody doing exactly what you did, that means you have the same problem with yourself that you have with the person that did it.
Well, and that.
So, it should be some reflection
and
some.
That's another thing, which I'm sure people who are on this wave already are probably already thinking like, everyone is a mirror to you.
Yeah.
It's not just they're just reflecting back to you your shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you're giving them that energy and they're reflecting it right back to you. Oh,
yeah.
so this is where you're at? Okay, so I'm gonna give you the same stuff.
And I don't think some people are introspective enough
to
understand what they're doing to other people.
Exactly
like you're not aware of what the fuck you're doing. You're just moving off of instinct and emotion.
Most of these things are unconscious. Or subconscious, not unconscious.
No,
unconscious, subconscious, same thing, kind of. Is it? That's another thing. Like, isn't it?
We'll get into that. We'll do that one day.
Okay, I got one. So here it is. This is a Dr. Joe Dispenza. Shout out to him because he's the truth.
Fuck with Joe Dispenza.
Our energy is connected to everything in our outer world that we've had an experience with. In order to change and disconnect from that something or someone, we need to break the addiction to the memorized emotion associated with that person.
Mm-hmm.
That's some deep shit.
You know what? That automatically brings me to trauma bonding.
Yes, 100%. I think that's basically what this was based on.
When
honestly.
people form relationships off of negative behavior, and sometimes they don't even understand
and most of that stuff is like shit from childhood.
Yeah, they don't even understand it as negative behavior because if you look at toxic behavior,
it's normal to them. It's normalcy. It's become.
If you look at toxic behavior in general, it was a coping mechanism at one point, right?
That was where it started.
So then it moves forward, and you keep doing it to the point to where it's a part of your personality.
Normalcy.
You normalize it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then not only do you normalize it, like we were talking about earlier, this was off-camera stuff, but it becomes what you seek out subconsciously.
Yeah, because it's a comfortable environment to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So and this is funny because the next one I was about to pick, the next we could go back to this, but I just want to say it's relevant.
This is
healthy
perfect.
relationships feel boring to people who are used to relationships filled with toxicity and drama. They're not sure what to do with love and love that is calm, kind, drama-free, non-toxic, and doesn't require them to constantly make painful sacrifices.
That's fucking. That's.
And it correlates with.
It's funny how these things are blinking.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But no, it's 100%.
What you said.
Yeah, 100%. Like, all right.
But you know what? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
But like that has to do with healing. Because once you heal those negative parts of you, you don't resonate with those toxic parts of somebody else. So there's no trauma bond.
That part of it is something most people will never experience. That positive side of it, because they're just so stuck in it in our society and the way we're bred to be. Let's just say, I'm not gonna get into that, but which is funny because I had a personal experience with this. That exactly what you just said. I dated a girl a long time ago when I was way younger, like probably in my early 20s or late teens, early 20s or whatever. But she was in an abusive relationship before she got with me for a long time. And once we got together, I'm a very loving, caring, emotional, huggy, touchy, feely, clingy kind of whatever person. Like whatever. But so I'm the exact opposite of being in a physically abusive relationship. She was in a physically, it was physically, emotionally, mentally, I'm sure all those things, but the major part of it was she was in a physically abusive relationship for a very long time. And she actually finally told me one day that she felt like she did something wrong because I wasn't beating the shit out of her.
Yeah, it wasn't normal to her.
Yeah. Which is like, to me was like I'm young, I was way young and I wasn't anywhere near as like.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but she really was like, yo, you haven't punched me in my face yet. Like, obviously I'm doing something wrong. Like, I must be doing something wrong if you haven't hit me yet. And it's like
no.
And all I was doing was loving her, being huggy and touchy.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
but
from her experience, that's not love.
That's insanity. That's fucking. I mean, I hate to say it, but
that's really true. Like, hurt people they cannot exist in a healthy environment.
Yeah, that shit.
It's boring.
No, it's not boring. It hurts. It hurts. It's physically and mentally and emotionally uncomfortable.
Because they have to sit with themselves. And they have to
it starts to make them,
there's no distraction.
It puts that mirror
shit
right in your face, like, hey,
exactly.
Look at yourself. And it's like, no, I don't want to look at that because that's painful memory. I don't want to think about this. So just punch me in the face because everything's okay if you hit me.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm used to. You know what I mean? And that's deep levels on I think almost everyone has that on certain levels. You know what I mean? It's like that trauma thing, like we were talking about the trauma response and stuff like that. That's obviously an extreme case, but we all.
Well, I mean, trauma is really subjective depending on the environment you was raised in.
That's true.
So like what I was saying about the other video, me, you, and Tyrone, like when you deal with trauma, like I don't think it's what happens to you. I think it's what happens inside of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, what happens inside you is what happens to you. Like,
well, you have to be normalized to it.
Well,
but then
what you believe becomes your reality. Like what you believe is normal, you start to.
That's true. But I mean, like some people don't think some things are bad. Like, oh, that's all that happened to you because they've been normalized and conditioned to certain things, to where other people have not been normalized and conditioned to those things. So it's like catastrophic.
Or like people only see things in movies because their lifestyle doesn't expose them to these things, even though they are real things in real life that happen to real people. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, that. Police don't beat up people for no reason, or like, stuff like that. I don't mean to be. That was just the first thing that popped into my head. There's lots of other examples that I could have used and whatever.
I've seen so much goofy shit. This dude on Instagram told me if you don't do anything wrong, you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's just ignorant. And I don't want to say that's just ignorant. And I don't want to say that's just ignorant because that's just his experience in life. It's not that he's ignorant for thinking like that. It's he's never experienced it.
No, he got the blinders on because the media show you different.
But that's true. That's true.
We're not going down the street.
Yeah, okay, so my next one. Let's jump on the next one because it ties into all this, and I feel like a lot of this is going to link. Get used to this because this is what we do. The next one I got that just happened to be the next one that popped up. If you want respect. Okay, so the next one I got is if you want respect, respect yourself first. People will start respecting you after you respect yourself through your own actions.
That to me means just drawing boundaries.
Yes, that's really what. That's
Like,
the most basic.
It's an old school thing.
But it's very difficult.
You
for a lot
teach
of
people how to treat you
by how you treat yourself. 100%.
Well, by drawing boundaries, and you
teach
you teach people about you, about how you react or respond to what they're doing. And a reaction and response is two different.
Oh, big. That's a whole
two different things.
That's a whole nother. Yeah.
A reaction is articulated, thought about it. You're more refined.
Response. Reaction isn't articulated. Reaction is just.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
no,
yeah. But I knew what you meant. So I just wanted to clarify because I.
Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, the response is the articulated version. The reaction is
your
just.
reaction is your lower self.
You came at me, so now I'm coming at you instead of okay. So why did you come at me? Let me. Why is this happening? Let me process these things before I respond. Let me think about it first. Let me process this shit instead of just emotionally snap. This happened, so I'm gonna do this now. And it's like what's that one that says it's one of the Buddhist. If you follow any Buddhist kind of page on anything, I feel like you're going to see this at some point in time where it says a moment of patience or patience in a moment of anger will save you so much hurt, a lifetime of hurt or whatever. You know, something along those. I'm sure most, if not everyone who's watching or who's going to watch this at some point in time or another is going to has seen something like this because it's all over the place. But it's true. It's 100% true.
All right. Next.
But yeah, boundaries. Boundaries are good. And they're sometimes hard to do when you come from a trauma background, but that's a good place to start. Set boundaries. Set boundaries with yourself. Set boundaries with how you talk to yourself.
Inner dialogue.
And before you start trying to set boundaries with other people, if you come from a very traumatic background, try to ease into it with starting with yourself.
And you know what's crazy? Like,
don't say things about yourself. Catch yourself saying, "I'm stupid." No, I'm not stupid.
I really think
I
it's
make
true.
mistakes
Like,
sometimes.
when you grow up in an unhealthy environment and your parents,
which most of us do,
your parents talk to you in an unhealthy manner, that becomes your inner dialogue.
That becomes your normal. That becomes your normal.
Yeah.
That's the pace.
Yeah.
100%.
So like even like that home family life when you were brought up, you tend to recreate that if you're not thinking about it.
And it might listen. There's always a balance or an imbalance of things. Whether you could have a great a great life growing up as a child, but there's certain things, negative things that bleed into that can affect you in such drastic ways over the course of your life that you don't even and that's the worst, I think, when most things are good but the few bad things you don't realize how they affect you, and then they start molding and shaping your future because you may just expect these little things that are bad to be part of your norm, and it's like, okay, well,
no,
some of that shit you can
let go and cut out.
No, but it's a subconscious thing because most people don't think like this. So
no.
If most of your growing up was good, but then you have sometimes your parents say certain things out of anger and whatever, like that part of life, but then that becomes normal to you. So when it happens is when you become an adult and you go out on your own and stuff, and these certain things happen, and it's like, oh, well, that's just like a normal part of. It's like Sadhguru was saying how people's like stress. What was it? It was more about dealing with stress instead of eliminating stress. Just we accept that as a normal part of life.
Going back to what I was saying, bro. That's why I let people go.
Yeah, you have to.
Like that's why I have no problem letting people go.
Trying to fix them. Fix their interaction with you.
I really believe there's a balance that should have.
Absolutely.
Like in your life, like if your experience with somebody.
If you want to have a healthy
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. If your experience with somebody is more negative than positive,
yeah,
there's no question.
Well, there shouldn't be, but we try to rationalize things.
I stopped doing that.
I understand that, but you got to a point where
that gotta go. You gotta go. Like, I can't.
But see, certain people say like, you know how we don't have a problem with, like, say if a family member does some off the wall shit.
It means
like
nothing. Family member, if my experience with
if you cross a certain line, it's a wrap for you. And you know what? And you know what? If eventually on your own journey you correct that behavior, and then I see you again, and I can tell that you corrected that behavior, we start in a whole new book. Mm-hmm. First page, chapter 1. Let's go. And now you a whole different person. And we could bond, be close, be tight, be best friends, whatever, and move on. But you know, you gotta be accountable for your shit.
You have to be
accountable. And if you're not accountable for your shit, you got no space here. You got no space here. I'm not gonna entertain your bullshit into my square and let that shit affect my energy and my life.
All right, this is the one I'm looking at. The story you keep telling.
Yes.
telling yourself
I know where
about
this is going.
who you are becoming is your reality. I'm fucking illiterate at this point. No, the story you keep telling yourself about who you are because the punctuation.
It's the way, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. The story you keep telling yourself about who you are becoming
becomes your reality.
Becomes your reality. If you don't love yourself, it's because you believe a story that's grounded in self-judgment.
That's usually based on how somebody else's perception of you.
Yeah. Something that was beating your head.
Yeah, by someone else, like, oh, you're not good enough, so now you believe you're not good enough.
Everything in your life is based on your narrative, how you act, how you feel, etc. Once you become aware of your self-talk,
told you, man, this is all gonna link up.
Now we don't even got to finish that one.
Yeah, this is just what it is, man. Like, it's not because
I can't read. I'm not illiterate.
All these things go hand in hand. It's all one big thing, man. And it's very simple too. If you just sit back and eliminate the extra, usually emotional bullshit that goes along with it. Now, let me see. I'm gonna find one. Here we go. Here's a good one. If you seek peace, be still. If you seek wisdom, be silent. If you seek love, be yourself.
Silent is stillness. Yeah, definitely agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like and the quote there, the name of the Bible, I'm trying to give everybody the props. It says Becca Lee. I don't know who you are, Becca Lee, if that was an original quote or not, but it's on there, so you get your props. But we agree 100%. And these are simple things. But simple things in concept, but not so easy in practice when you've grown up and you've lived 30, 20, 30, 40 years of this conditioning that we've been exposed to, especially in this country, I think, more than others, more so in others. It's not a static kind of thing, but,
I got a good one. Yes. Yesterday is heavy. Put it down.
That's a great one. I think a lot of people need to hear that and they don't realize it. Because so many people hold on to yesterday, and it, like we were saying before, that shit forms your reality. It forms your concept of what you think you are and who you think you are and what you think is supposed to happen. And then you create your tomorrow from yesterday, that heavy-ass yesterday that you need to just let that shit go. And when you do, like we started the first one, tomorrow gonna be light. You're gonna wake up feeling good and happy, and then there's no end to what can come in your life and the good things that you've always wanted that can be your reality.
That's a double-edged sword.
Yes.
As far as what you feel and what you think, and you move on to the next day, like at the end of the day, you have to forgive yourself.
That's a big one.
For everything that you did that you feel
even the little things.
Anything that you did that you have conflict within yourself, you have to forgive yourself.
Even if it's like, oh, I made this little simple mistake on this paperwork that I had to do for work. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. Nah, man. Let that shit go. Forgive yourself.
You can't be accountable for what other people do to you. Yep. So you have to let that go too. It's not your fault.
Don't wear everybody else's shit, even if it's there. Don't carry other people's opinions into your reality. Because that's what a lot of people
It's a guided meditation. I used to always post on one of my Facebook accounts before they got taken out. After I did that weird Liam Neeson thing, and then they just took my account, posting, taking things. Yeah.
All right, so here we go.
Did it on the wrong account. Go.
In life, we must all suffer one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Facts.
Choose your pain.
Facts.
And this is all ties together. Like,
you have to make shit hard for yourself,
or life's gonna make it hard for you. Or
nobody
essentially is you're gonna make it hard for you. If you don't make it,
there's not steroids for everything. Like, some people don't want to work out. You think you're just gonna do steroids and get big?
Or that guy that puts the water stuff into his muscles and his shit looks all crazy. Like,
there's always consequences for that. Like, anything worth something, you're gonna have to work for.
You gotta go through the ringer.
You have to. Like, you gotta go through the hard part.
You take the shortcut.
The hard part is what makes the good part.
Yeah, great. It's what makes the good part great. Is the hard part. But and you know what? Taking the shortcut might get you there. But it's
It's
gonna
not
be
gonna keep
it's
it.
gonna
It's
be
not
like
gonna maintain
it's gonna be
it.
like that guy that puts that water or whatever it is into his saline into his muscles to look all big.
That's weird.
It's just air. It's just hot air. You just got a hot air balloon.
Some
It ain't worth
weird
nothing,
shit.
man.
All right, check this one out. Most people won't support you until they see it's popular to support you.
That's a great one for this day and age and how people posting online and
Niggas is dead ass haters.
for real. Where is it? Now, see, I gotta search for one. I might have it.
Nah,
here.
nigga, you gotta.
But
some insight
the
on that.
people. It says your biggest supporter is somebody you don't know, and your biggest hater is probably your best
The
friend.
next nigga next to
The
you.
one,
Yeah,
the
facts.
one right there next to you,
Facts.
fucking that you think has got your back and is your ace boom, whatever, and like, that's probably your biggest hater. Because he's mad that you're doing better than you, or he or she. Whatever.
Mhm.
But that person's mad that you're doing the things they want to do, but you're the one taking the initiative, and they just feel like they your sidekick. But then it's like, hey man, didn't nobody tell you to be my sidekick? Be your own superhero.
Yeah.
Let's be superheroes together. Let's be the Justice. Let's start the Justice League. But don't hate on me because I'm doing me. But you sitting here fake being my friend, but you're mad because I'm moving on and you. I'm trying to bring you with me. I'm trying to bring you with me.
So many stories about shit like that.
Yeah, you all know.
Niggas
You
don't even
all. Everybody's got that story in they book.
You're like,
Everybody's
why
got
don't
that
you
chapter
talk
in
to?
their book.
Fuck out of here.
Alright, here's a good one. Side note, really doesn't need any fucking any conversation or anything, but it's a good thought to have and something to keep in mind. When you have exhausted all possibilities, remember this: you haven't. There's something you haven't tried. No matter how smart you think you are, no matter how many things you think you've done,
That's true.
you ain't
And you know what?
never.
This is why you need other smart minds
You
around
need something
you.
to bounce stuff
A
off
different
of. Yeah,
perspective.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw Spec in the background behind me. I was about to like perspective, but it's respect. But you know,
Yeah.
respect
All
is
right.
good too.
No, I'm gonna switch the mode on this
All
one
right, let's
because
go.
I'm just on my Instagram. I'll just scroll down.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious. So basically, Michael's thing was walking around disrespectfully and start shit for no reason. Talk about Michael
All his
Jackson videos.
Yeah.
Look at a Michael Jackson video. This little skinny.
Oh, with the one with when he went to the king and he was at the throne and did the dance and stuff.
Yo,
Didn't you
how
see
does
the girl?
little-
Didn't you see?
Yeah, nigga
Mike,
can't fight.
boy.
He could dress his ass
And
off,
dance like a motherfucker.
but you disrespect the women on the street. You catcalling them, dancing around them and shit. You disrespecting niggas in their own kingdom.
Right.
Why ain't nobody yoked this skinny ass nigga up?
Because he turned into that
He
robot
spun
monkey
it.
thing and fuck.
And he turned to a robot. He turned
Yeah.
to dust. He got superpowers.
Oh yeah, for real. He's a goddamn
Annie, are you
superhero.
okay? Like, nah, that shit's funny as hell. I'm
This
sorry.
is great. We always gotta throw that in the mix. You gotta have it. Here we go. Here's a good one. Here's a good one that everyone needs to hear, whether you've seen it or heard it or not. Whether you agree with it or not, it doesn't matter, because whether you call an apple a kumquat or a tank tread, it's still a fucking apple.
I'm just a
But-
butt bitch.
But to be kind is more important than to be right. Many times what people need is not a brilliant mind that speaks, but a
True.
special heart that listens.
True.
It's not always important to be right, because trying to prove you're right to somebody who's going through something hard is only going to create an enemy or create distance,
Yeah.
and make things worse.
It
Sometimes
creates
you just need
discord
to-
because we live in a
Discord,
society.
there you go.
We live in a society that's ego based.
Especially and
And we need to
it's
get
also
away from that.
information based. Like we have, this is the age of technology. I can Google anything. So there's always that conflict there of people who somebody says, "Oh, I'm right about this," and it's like, "Oh, well, no, I can look this up and prove you wrong." Like there's always conflict. It's a big thing about conflict.
But
in
it's
life.
ego. Ego
Yeah.
makes people do that.
Yeah,
Ego
100%.
makes people want to fact check people instead of
I'm
worrying,
right and you're wrong.
instead of worrying about the
Instead of
condition that the
understanding.
person's in when they're speaking whatever they believe is their truth.
Yep.
They might not be right, but if they're in a hurt place, why do you feel the need to
Yeah.
fucking
Don't bash them.
like
and beat
fact
them
check
down.
them,
Yeah.
like, comfort them? Then you
Comfort them.
find a different medium. Like
we got to understanding in one of those other videos we made, right? We were talking about understand yes or no because we were talking yesterday.
Or we didn't post it.
We might, yeah, or it might just have been the audio.
You know how many videos we have that we ain't post?
Listen. There's lots of content coming out, man. We just gotta organize it all. This is new. You guys know this by now. If you're watching this, you should know this by now. This is new. We got a lot of stuff to work out, a lot of bugs and stuff to figure out. But we're gonna get it all out. We're gonna smooth it all out like some freshly laid concrete. You know what I mean? So. It's gonna be nice. Maybe some initials in a date.
I think we had like a half an hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah, by now, probably.
Yeah.
Probably like 40 minutes or so. Go one more, because I started.
One more?
So go one more. So balance. I started, we finished. Let's go.
Let me see. No, I think we covered that one already.
We kind of covered that one too.
The time you enjoyed wasting was not wasted.
That's deep. That's simple as fucking deep as hell.
It's true as hell. But it also doesn't mean that time spent was productive.
That's true. Well, it's situational because sometimes if you're grinding and you're going hard, you need that break.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're gonna burn out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I don't care how. Listen, I am the goddamn Energizer Bunny. If you know me in real life, you know I've got energy for days. But I still need a break because I'll still be the Energizer Bunny, but I'll be the Energizer Bunny that looks like he stuck his finger in a socket. Hair frayed, sparks coming out. You know what I mean?
I got one more.
Okay.
Because I'm scrolling down and I seen this shit, and this shit makes me laugh.
We're gonna post all these memes.
No.
You'll see them.
It's a female talking to God, and she says, "But I love him." God saying, "He's not the one." She says, "I'm gonna go see for myself." So then she comes back and said, "He hurt me, God. Why you?" He said, "Girl, go to hell."
I think all of us can relate to that in some form or another.
Yeah, but I think
especially those of you who are very religious. You guys can totally agree with
Well,
that.
no, I think it's a double thing, too.
It plays
I think it goes back to, like, toxicity. Because it seems
great
like...
System of a Down song, by
No,
the way.
look. Like, it really seems like it's like this thing to where when females are younger, like, when you're in high school, that age...
Well, that can apply to both male and
No, yeah.
I say that because I can't stand those memes that are like, a girl's this or a girl's that. Or
no,
a
when
guy's
people
this.
are younger,
people.
They like shit that's cool.
What's cool?
Like, that person's so cool.
Thinks, social acceptance.
But what cool is when you're younger is toxic.
Most of pretty much.
So then you grow older and you realize, like,
it's like, smoking cigarettes was the cool thing to do. But
like the cool guy or the cool girl. And then when you're not that cool person when you're young, you meet those people that didn't want you earlier, and you notice where their life is.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The flip side of it.
2, 3 kids. Now you want to give me a chance when you got mad kids and your life is in shambles, and now I'm cool. Or
now I'm cool because I got money and I'm successful because
both ways.
Yeah.
Like it goes both ways.
100%, man. Yep.
Like that's a thing too.
But that has a lot to do with social constructs and stuff like that.
I seen 2 females on my Facebook post it before I cut it off. One was my sis Naomi. Shout out to Naomi because I have to still edit what me and her did.
Oh, the one. Okay, yeah. Good shit.
Editing is so hard. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then another one.
Don't worry, I'm gonna help out with the editing. We'll be good.
I'm not gonna mention her name, but I was reading in her comment. She was like, "So what you saying? I don't deserve a good man?" Like she was actually pissed that the brother made a comment that
struck a chord in her.
Yeah. And it kind of like triggered her. But like, what are you saying? I don't deserve it. Like, no, we're saying that
that's
like
a trauma response.
Yeah, like you're doing it way late. Like, why don't you understand what I'm saying?
We're being positive here, and you. But that's what trauma responses do, and they're subconscious. They're unconscious things that you do.
Like I get both. Yeah. I get it. Cause
that's understanding when you get both sides of it. And there's no.
You don't. When people are young, they don't want what's best for them. They just want what they want right
they want.
then and there.
Instant gratification.
Yeah. and then when you get older, you kind of see what you need,
Yeah.
and then you want to
bullshit.
lead towards what you need.
But
when it's the same,
that's great because I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
No,
that's
no,
great
no.
because that creates a sub. I'm trying to find the right words. I'm not good at this sometimes. I need to learn more words. But
I need to learn more words.
yeah, no, because I got a decent vocabulary, but sometimes there's just some snappy good like
He's Samuel Jackson off camera.
$50 words and shit that like are great.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, I do that a lot. But that thought right there can create I'm trying to find the right way to express it so that you understand what I'm trying to get to. But it can create like a sub line of like emotion, a subtract, like it creates another offshoot of your emotional thing where it's like, well, I'm in a good place and I've learned all these positive things, but then you said something that triggered an emotional traumatic response, and now I've created an offshoot.
You go back to the trigger.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it creates an offshoot, almost like the timeline in Back to the Future.